Irony is a curious thing. Let me start this off by saying that I didn't actually see any of this happen. Hell, my dad is the one who told me about the death of our neighbor. It's been in the local news, but for the sake of Jan and her family, names have been changed. You see, my dad has lived in the same house for almost 30 years. The neighbors behind us have lived there for almost 50. Jan was one of those neighbors, a sweet, soft-spoken grandmother with a grouch for a husband. The two had a lot of kids, grandkids, and even great-grandkids. Jan was as sharp as the day she was born, well up until the time of her death in her early 70s. This brings me to the only thing strange about Jan. You see, Jan had a crippling fear of vehicles ever since a terrifying car accident she was in as a teenager. Because of this, Jan did not drive, and she did not enjoy being driven around. If she had to go somewhere, she would walk. If someone wanted to drive her somewhere, then they would have to hope she was having a good, fear-free day. Her trauma from her teenage years had bubbled up into a full-blown phobia of all things vehicular. Getting Jan into a car or truck was nothing less than a miracle. Despite this phobia, she had a wonderful, full life. I know this because she was always kind to me, and she would talk to my dad over the fence whenever he was doing yard work. Jan found the good in everyone and everything. She was a loved member of our community. This all ended on the morning that Jan died. On an early morning in spring, while walking to the bus stop to pick up a child Jan was meant to babysit that day, it happened. Up the road, across the street from her house, and over one house to the right, a young man had parked his Ford Mustang in his steep driveway. He had failed to properly secure the brake, and hadn't fixed his wheels so that they would be facing the curb. The car had rolled backwards down the steep driveway. Because of the slant of the road and the slope that the car was rolling down, the way the wheels were positioned had the car roll clear out of the driveway and down the open road. The Ford quickly plowed into Jan and knocked her down. The low-riding vehicle was on top of her as it stopped, and she was, according to paramedics at the scene soon after, unconscious. That's about when the car's owner came out. He saw his car had rolled out of the driveway, grabbed his keys, and headed for the vehicle. The man didn't see Jan under the car. How could he have known? The man climbed into the driver's seat, put his Ford into reverse, and backed up. He didn't know what he'd done until he saw the elderly woman laying in the road. The paramedics arrived as fast as they were able, and they managed to get her pulse back. They even managed to get Jan breathing on her own. Unfortunately, Jan was pronounced dead on arrival. Jan was known as the old woman that walked everywhere. She loved Sudoku, knitting, and her family. Jan was also known for her fear of vehicles and how, for over 60 years, she avoided the thing that made her so afraid, only for horrible luck to take her out of the world. Had it been anyone else under that Ford's wheels, it would be a freak accident. For Jan Malory and her grieving family, it's an unfair tragedy. As for me, Well, irony is a curious thing.